So this was originally supposed to be kind of an Embiid hype video. I mean, he just dropped the 70 points. He's the current frontrunner for MVP. He's been putting up these insane numbers all season. But then once again, this dude ducks Jokic in Denver. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we were going to re-record just a little bit of the video, talk about how they did during the game. And if you can't already tell, I got sick as with COVID, and yet I'm still here. Guess who wasn't here on Saturday?
This dude Embiid. Before we start talking about what Joel Embiid needs to do to catch up with the bigs like Jokic and Giannis, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any new videos. So like I said in the intro, this was supposed to be a video giving Embiid praise. He's been putting up crazy stats. He's probably going to win MVP again as long as he hits the minimum games requirement. But we were also going to talk about his playoff failures and mention the one thing he's missing is that championship or just playoff success. But like we said in the intro, we had to change everything up because this dude once again ducked a good team and ducked Nikola Jokic.
Maybe I'm just in a really pissy mood because I'm sick as I mean, this is what, the 5th straight time he hasn't played in Denver, and the Nuggets fans were chanting like, where is Embiid at, chants at him, and like, I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. You miss 5 straight games in 5 straight years in the same city where you only go there once a year. I checked Ticketmaster prices before the game started. Now this was right before tip-off, to be fair, but the cheapest tickets were $175. $175, like the fans, I guess, who paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see Embiid play Jokic. I tell you what, this is never gonna happen, but if the NBA keeps letting teams do this, like put a deadline like 24 hours ahead of the game time, and if they can scratch like an all-star level player, they should owe every fan refunds. Like, this is ridiculous.
And yeah, this was hyped up all week. It was NBA rivalry week. We saw the ads and everything. It was an Embiid versus Jokic, the 2 best bigs in the league. And then we get this. We're not getting the big man battle that was hyped up to be. So now at this point, Embiid can literally only miss 6 more games if he wants to still win MVP. And I think as long as he's eligible and nothing else happens, he still will. And like we said, it was originally a video hyping Embiid. So let's talk a little bit about the crazy numbers he's still put up, even if it's been against just garbage teams. I mean, the stats, 36.1 points per game, 11.6 rebounds, almost 6 assists, almost 2 blocks. There's only been 4 other players to average 36 points per game in a season. There's Wilt. Of course he did it 5 times.
Just cuz.
Because it's Wilt. Elgin Baylor did it in 1962. You had Jordan 87, and then you had Harden in 2019. Not even Kobe did that. Like, if he keeps that up for the entire season, that's an all-time scoring season, just straight up.
And his stats since the start of December, I mean, something's awoken in him since the start of December. 40 points per game, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, he just dropped 70 a couple days ago against the Spurs, too.
Yeah, that helps.
Just on one of the best young defenders in the NBA. Now, granted, Wemby weighs like 185 pounds soaking wet, and Embiid might be the strongest player in the NBA, so he battered him down low, but still, dropping 70 points in the modern NBA is a big.
Yeah, that's tough. To be fair to Wemby, I don't think a ton of those points were on him. Dude was torching Zach Collins, though.
Poor Zach.
He's also got 2 other 50-point games, one against the Wizards, another against the Timberwolves. He's got another 48-point game against the Wizards. 6 40-point games in total. I know it's not against good teams, but I think he's played like 32 games at the time of this recording. These numbers are crazy. Dude, we haven't seen anything like this since basically 2019 Harden.
Dude, hates the Wizards, apparently.
He really does.
50 and 48, like, Jesus.
Or they just can't stop anyone.
That's probably accurate as well. What do you think of the free throw merchant comments, though?
I mean, it's true.
I tend to agree with them.
Yeah, first of all, I don't like seeing it. It's annoying as hell to watch.
I tell you what, watching a dude who so clearly is so strong that I'm convinced he could probably run through a brick wall, flop around like a goddamn fish. Like, dude takes the slightest bit of contact and his ass is on the ground.
I would come to his defense more if the stats translated to the playoffs. Like, he's averaging these insane numbers in the regular season, but then the playoffs, it gets a bit more physical. They're not giving those calls, and his points per game dropped dramatically.
to be fair, 36 points per game, there's only really one way to go. If you're going up from 36 points per game, there's not much you can do about that. There's only really one way to go.
And I'm sure you guys get it. Like, there's going to be the free throw merchant comments. There's going to be the, oh, he can't get it done in the playoffs. So really, until he gets that title, or at the very least, the damn conference finals, he's not going to be able to escape this stuff because that's just how it is. I mean, think about 2019 Prime Harden, or just Prime Harden for the Rockets. Crazy stats, like stats we've basically never seen before. Great regular season teams, but we don't view really that era or Harden in general as this all-time great because he never got that title. He never made the finals.
And to be fair to Harden, he kept running into the Golden State Warriors.
He did.
What is this juggernaut dynasty that Embiid's running into?
I guess the Jays in Boston are too much.
And the J in Miami too.
Yeah, true. Really, the big difference between Embiid and Jokic at this point is just Jokic actually wins in the playoffs. Regular season, Embiid's got the same amount of accolades, but Jokic has a championship. He's been to the finals. Hell, he's even been to the conference finals, and Embiid has done none of that. So let's go year by year and see if he has any legitimate excuses at all. We'll start, his first couple years, he was out injured, didn't play his first 2 seasons due to foot injuries. His rookie year, the 76ers were still pretty shit. He only played 31 games. So really it started in 2018. They were finally good. They won 52 games. He was an all-star. This was the Ben Simmons rookie year, which really wasn't a rookie year, but technically he was a rookie.
I mean, I guess it was Embiid's sophomore year, and it was his 4th year in the league
Right.
too, so.
They just had dudes resting out there in Philly. They got the 3rd seed, but Embiid, this will be a little bit of a theme for you guys. He missed the final 8 games of the regular season. He had to get surgery to repair a fractured orbital bone, and he'd missed the first 2 games of the playoffs, but Philly did take the Heat out in 5 regardless.
Yeah, once he came back, Embiid wasn't great by any means, but the Sixers were a pretty balanced team. They had 6 guys averaging at least 10 points per game, and they take down the Heat in 5. So, it's his first playoff series. That's okay. Then there's this Celtics series. He was fine. 23 points, 14 boards. It's your first playoff run. Didn't shoot particularly well. Missed a game winner at the end of game 5, and I'm not giving him a pass for this series at all. No Kyrie, no Gordo. I know this team took LeBron to 7 games in the conference finals, but if you look at these teams on paper, Philly was by far the better team, and they got thoroughly trounced.
I don't know. I mean, I will give him a pass. First playoff run. I think that Celtics team was underrated good for the Eastern Conference in that era. I don't want to hype them up too much, but they were a deep team. Going out in 5 is a bit tough. Maybe push it to 6 or 7.
I mean, they were led by Scary Terry, Al Horford, and a baby Jason Tatum.
Yeah, they were.
And a baby Jaylen Brown, too.
It was a baby Embiid. 2019, they bring in Jimmy Butler to the team. It feels so weird to think that Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid were on the same team.
And that they only lasted half a season, basically.
Yeah, they would have had some conference finals or probably some titles if they kept that together, but the 76ers decided Tobias Harris was the guy, but whatever. That's
all-time fumble by that Sixers front office.
That's for another video. That starting 5, though, so damn stacked. You had Ben Simmons back when he was this distributor, defensive guy, JJ Redick, knockdown shooter, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. Great starting 5. They'd finish as the 3rd seed once again. They'd play the Nets in the first round. Nets actually went into Philly and took game 1 because everyone besides Jimmy Butler was complete. But after that, the 76ers just dominated. Joel Embiid, he was pretty good. 25 points on over 50% shooting, 13.5 rebounds, almost 3 blocks. But once again, the dude had injuries every damn year. He had knee tendonitis that bothered him, and he missed game 3 in the series. And then in the second round, they played the Toronto Raptors. 76ers as a whole, I would say pretty good. You pushed the champs to 7. It was the final shot. But Embiid was
ass. He was garbage. 17.5 points per game, 37% field goal shooting, only 9 boards per game. Look, I get it. You're going up against the champs. They were one of the best defensive teams, if not the best defensive team in the entire NBA. They would go on to win it, beat the Warriors, basically put the dynasty on hold for a couple years. I'm not giving him a pass for this series either.
No, and I'm not giving him a pass, but I bring this up just because the dude can never be healthy in the playoffs. Somehow he had multiple sicknesses during the series. He had a stomach stomach virus in game 2. He was throwing up before game 4 and had to get an IV. And then in game 5, he somehow got a respiratory infection. How is that possible? He can't be healthy.
How do you pick up a respiratory infection between games 4 and 5?
I mean, cross-country travel, I guess. Cross-continent travel, technically.
Something in the airflow in those planes the Sixers were chartering. So it went from a stomach bug in game 2 to throwing up game 4 and then a respiratory infection in game 5.
Yes, only Embiid.
This man was speed running like how to get sick. Like what? 2020, the 76ers regressed quite a bit, all the way down to the 6th seed. Of course, they, like we said, infamously decided on Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler. Just grade A work from the Sixers front office right there. They made the playoffs as the 6th seed in the bubble, got swept by the Celtics. Embiid honestly was really good in this series. 30 points, 12 boards a game. Didn't have much as a supporting cast. Ben Simmons was out because he was hurt. Tobias Harris and Josh Richardson neither really played well. I'll give him a small pass for this because he didn't have a supporting cast, and also this series took place in the Shadow Realm.
2021, how about this year? They really should have made the conference finals. There's basically no excuse. First overall seed, they took the Wizards out in 5. Embiid's numbers weren't eye-popping, but he was super efficient, and believe it or not, he got injured again. He left game 4 of the series with a knee injury. It would turn out to be a meniscus tear. He'd miss game 5. I will give him some credit at least for playing through a meniscus tear. That's got to be painful as hell when you're like, whatever, 320 pounds or whatever he is.
And playing well, too.
Yeah, he played pretty well in that Hawks series. He averaged 30 points a game, 13 rebounds on a meniscus tear. Problem is Ben Simmons did not help him out.
No, he just refused to shoot.
He didn't want to shoot.
And we got a video about this from way back in the day. I mean, Ben Simmons. My problem with this though, like, yes, Ben Simmons like completely froze up, didn't play well at all, and he's one of your key pieces, right? So like, I kind of want to give him a pass. At the same time, he's playing the fucking 5th seeded Atlanta Hawks. He is not playing the Celtics. He's not playing Miami. He's not playing Giannis. He is playing just a whatever playoff team.
2022, Ben Simmons said, I'm taking this whole year off. I'm not playing. He had the mental health issues, but he didn't play.
The mental health issues. I'm sorry, I'm not one to make light of mental health, but that is grade A bull. I mean, from Ben Simmons.
Considering the fact he's still not playing games to this day, you're probably right. But you gotta give credit to the front office. They somehow got rid of Ben Simmons and brought in Harden, and there was the hype around the Harden-Embiid duo, like the next like guard big duo. They beat the Raptors in 6 in the first round. Embiid had 2 injuries this series. He had
unbelievable.
A torn ligament in his thumb after game 3. And then once again, the dude somehow fractured his orbital bone in game 6 of this series. A bone I haven't heard of until Embiid had the injury. I've never heard another athlete get this injury. He's gotten it twice. Because of that, he would miss the first 2 games against the Miami Heat. And once he came back, the dude did not look like himself.
Well, dude fractured his orbital bone. He probably couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was getting migraines, couldn't see. Harden had like 1 good game in that series, but again, out in the second round, couldn't make the conference finals.
That brings us to last year. Embiid finally gets his MVP. He's got a full off season with James Harden, a full regular season with James Harden. They get the Nets in the first round, who had ditched Kyrie and KD during the regular season, so they swept them. Embiid wasn't that good this series. Once again, though, got injured, sprained his knee in game 3, and missed game 4. I feel like a broken record.
I mean, he missed game 1 of the Celtics series, but even then, Harden goes into Boston, balls the ha, they win that game. They take a 3-2 lead in the series, and again, you gotta get it done. Like this year, you had to get it done, but Jason Tatum comes in and said, I'll get it done. The final 5 quarters of this series were just owned by Jason Tatum. Game 6, Joel Embiid had to get it done in his house.
And he gets bodied by Tatum, a guy not known for being this phenomenal playoff performer.
Yeah, he's not LeBron or Jokic or KD, it's Tatum.
A guy who's known to be pretty shaky in the playoffs himself.
Yeah, like at this point, he should have made the conference finals in his career. I know he's had some stuff go against him. He's dealt with these injuries, which is just him at this point. But we had to bring it up as Blazer fans. Dame has made the damn conference finals in the West with that garbage supporting cast. He beat Jokic to do that. Embiid should have done it by now. He's an MVP. He has to just get it done. So now, in conclusion, do you think Embiid's ever going to be able to escape the ducking allegations or the free throw merchant or anything to become respected among NBA fans? Because he's got to be the most hated superstar in the league easily right now.
I mean, he's speedrunning most hateable superstar, and he's making great progress. And with the NBA community, maybe. With me, no. My problem is, like, you are basically just giving a middle finger to the fans who pay hundreds of dollars to see you play, and are the reason that you make basically more money per game than any one of your fans will make in like 5 years.
So what do you think his legacy is gonna be when he retires? Like, will he somehow get a chip and everything will be solved, or is he just big man version of Harden?
At this point, I think he's big man Harden, but Harden's kind of on his redemption tour right now. So, I mean...
Yeah, Harden might get that chip.
Maybe he can turn it around, but tell you what, if he keeps doing this bullshit, I'm gonna be rooting against him every day of the week. Like, this is ridiculous.
So what do you guys think? Does Joel Embiid have any chance to catch up to Jokic and Giannis as the best bigs of this generation? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like. And hey, while you're here, check out some of our other content as well. Don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.